Today's our last day in Cody, Wyoming. We'll be heading back to Lead, South Dakota shortly. And yesterday was a big Yellowstone day. That was pretty fun. So, a quick overview of the Yellowstone stuff, just some things, some thoughts before I forget everything. When we woke up in the morning, 5:45 to catch our bus tour out there, it was pretty nice weather, a little cool, everything was fine. As we got to Yellowstone, the weather turned a little bit on us and it started raining. And we weren't too worried about that. We didn't really care about getting wet. And then when we got in the bus, our tour guide told us that there was a fire in Yellowstone somewhere. And they had one of the roads closed. And that was the road to Old Faithful. But there was another way to get there. And fortunately, he's a tour guide, has been doing this for 30 or 40 years. So he knew exactly how to get there. And when we got to the gate at Yellowstone, it was still raining a little bit. And I heard it as soon as she said it. The gate operator said, we got bad news. So about 30 minutes before we got there, an oil truck, or a gas truck, a truck that was transporting fuel to the gas stations inside the park, he overturned on the other road, the one that was open. So they closed that road. Now there's no roads open, at least to the where we wanted to go. So fortunately, our tour guide knew lots of other places to get to, but we were not going to see Old Faithful. So anyway, he started taking us up into Yellowstone, and by this point, we're probably about 8,000 feet up, something like that. And he was taking us to some little overlooks and places and things to see, based on that we're not going to get to Yellowstone. I'm sorry, that we're not going to get to Old Faithful. So anyway, we saw an elk. So we got out of the van, and by the way, our tour is not like you're thinking. It was a smaller bus, and there was only, I think, 8 of us in it. So park rules, no more than 9 people per vehicle. That's a new rule for this year because of the thing. Makes no sense because there's 80 billion people standing shoulder to shoulder everywhere you go, but anyway, who cares, right? So a small tour group. We got out to watch the elk, and it was raining, and all of a sudden, it started to hail. So we had big balls of ice hitting us and laying on the ground. So that was pretty interesting. And as we went around to some other sites, the sun would pop out, then it would pour down rain, and then it would get bright, and then it would get dark. And he said this was really unusual. In fact, he'd not seen it before. So we picked the one day of the entire year with the craziest weather. So we saw lightning, dark clouds, rain, hail, sunshine, and he was in constant contact on his radio with the park rangers. And a couple hours later, he said, good news, they've reopened the other road that was closed for the fire because they could not reopen the one with the fuel thing. That's going to be a week cleaning that mess up. He's dumped a lot of fuel. And so we got to go to Old Faithful, and make sure you see the video for that. So then our luck started to change. It was overcast, but we could still see Old Faithful. So it started raining again, and he wanted to find us a place for lunch that had some cover. So we went back around the backside of Old Faithful, to like a restaurant that had a huge overhang. And we were eating lunch there, and believe it or not, the sun pops out, bright as day, bright as could be. And we were also just in time for Old Faithful again. And that's kind of how the day went. Because of some road closures, we couldn't get everywhere we wanted to go. But because we had an experienced tour guide, he took us all over the place. We saw everything just about that we could see. This is what's called the lower loop, geothermal area. We saw geysers, we saw hot springs, we saw stuff spurting out of the ground all over the place. We saw waterfalls. It was raining, it was sunny, it was pretty crazy. And glad we did it. It was cold, it was hot, we had our sweatshirts on, we had them off. It was an insane day. I'm going to give you guys a quick room tour now. Alright, this is our room tour. We're at King's Inn in Cody, Wyoming. Let me get the camera turned around for you. And we're just now packing, getting ready to leave. We had one of these kind of air conditioners. It made some noise, but it wasn't terrible. And you know, we got a little table and chairs to set your laptop up on. That was nice. Decent TV. Couple drawers. I mean, there's nothing fancy here. We had a decent sized refrigerator though. Better than some we've seen. I guess that's called a king size bed. Very small bathroom. In fact, it's so small they actually put the sink out here. And that's it. There's really not a whole lot to show you here for the room. I'd give it a 3.5 stars if I had to try to rate it. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing bad. Nothing great. I'm going to get you a shot of the lobby here in a minute. The owner of this property is big into African hunting and animals and taxidermy and stuff, so there's quite a bit of interesting stuff in the lobby.